Good afternoon or good evening, everyone, should I say, dependent on where you are. So today is the day after I've started my transition to becoming a civilian, basically. So I've done 20.1 years now in the military, and my wife and children. My wife's American, she's Texan. So we've always planned when I retire that she is going to move back to Texas. So she flew out there with my two kids yesterday, and they're now in Texas, and we're starting our life. Well, they're starting their life in Dallas or Mansfield, just outside of Dallas. And I'm gonna be visiting the place basically every couple of months. But this is my transition now, really, into Civvy Street. So I get my 22-year pension in 18, 19, 20 odd months' time, and then I get another job after that, another full-time job with my pension as well. But what I will say is that my career has absolutely flown by, absolutely out of nowhere. I'm coming now to the complete end of my career. So, and I know that this channel is for you guys that want to start your career in the military. So I think my one bit of advice is grab it with both hands once you're in and try and complete whatever courses you can. When you go out on exercise, you're always preparing to go on tour. So if you get the opportunity to go on tour, go on tour. Get the opportunity to go on courses, just go on courses, whether you want to do them or not. Just do them, because you will not get that opportunity again, and your career will absolutely fly by. That is a absolute guarantee. And yeah, T-Hun, I'm gonna get myself a good old Stetson out there, and also cheers, Lee. Thanks very much, buddy. Bruno K, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Got his army scholarship board this time next week. Any last week tips? Look, mate, the only tips I always give to things like this is you gotta be yourself. Don't pretend to be someone that you're not, because they will absolutely see straight through it. Be yourself, be prepared, be confident, be a team player, and also work well as an individual on individual tasks, and you'll be absolutely fine. But the main thing, as long as you're prepared and you be yourself, you'll be absolutely fine. Harry's got his AOSB briefing in October. Good luck for that, Harry. I hope you do really, really well on that. Right, Elliot Slee, do 18 Signal Regiment employ all the Signal job roles or just certain ones? 18 Signal Regiment employ the Special Forces job roles. However, you haven't got to have completed the what they call 264. It's a squadron, 264 squadron. You haven't got to complete the cadre for that. You can actually get posted into 18 Signal Regiment, work with the Special Forces, even though you yourself might not be actually having gone through your selection yourself. Yeah, double revolvers. Yeah, I'm gonna get myself a gun license as soon as I get out there and get myself a nice piece, I think. Jasmine Etherington, start basic a week on Sunday at Winchester, almost packed. Jasmine, I'm telling you, man, you're going to start it, and the first day will probably go quite slowly. I remember mine was only 12 weeks, my basic training. I think you guys did 14 now. My 12-week basic training, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was 21 at the time, and I remember ringing my mum, because they always worry, mums and dads, and everyone always worries. And I rang her up and I was like, Mum, honestly, there is no need to worry. I am really enjoying myself. You just learn so much. And I was only enjoying myself because of the friends that I made. I made some absolutely lifelong friends. Most of them are out now. There's only 3 of us from Echo Troop that are still in. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. So go there with a really good attitude. Hang on, I've got to work my way back up these now. DJ, AOS briefing was interesting. It's easier than you think. Yeah, because you prepared for it. That's why, mate. Everything's easy if you prepared for it. So I'm what's called a yeoman, and we had to do a week selection when you're a sergeant or staff sergeant. You have to do a week's selection, and I studied like mad for it. I'm not the most intelligent bloke in the world, but my memory is fairly good. So as long as I study, I can retain information for a short period of time. So I studied like mad for it. And in my interview, I found the interview really easy because I'd put the effort in. And that goes for all walks of life, I would say, in the military. If you put the effort in, it's very, very simple. Things can be in the military, but you've got to put that effort in. You've got to account for yourselves, and you'll find it pretty much a breeze. Elliot Sleet, is it coming home? Well, for England it might do, but certainly not for Wales. I was absolutely devastated at our absolute pounding from Denmark. But there you have it. There you have it. Do I have any information on service degrees? That's from Harry. So I done my degree whilst I was in the army. I got an honours in a Bachelor of Science Communications Management, and the army paid 90% of that through your enhanced learning credit. So you go and see a clerk, and they'll sort you out. And all I had to do was 1 year. I had to do just 1 year because of all the experience that I had. I completed 1 year, four essays. The longest essay was about 5,000 words. Nothing really compared to some of my friends are doing masters, and they have huge dissertations in that to do. So get a degree. That's one bit of advice for you out there. T. Honey, what's been medical start of August? And then you're off to the brief. Yeah, look, if it takes its time, it takes its time. I certainly wouldn't worry about that. Right, Lee Inns, what advice would I give to a recruiter who have never been away from home or family before? I would say the advice I would give is that there are going to be lots of people in basic training that are in exactly the same boat. But what you will find is because it's so intense, you won't even have time to be homesick. You won't have time to think about your family. I know it sounds selfish, but you just won't have time because you're always thinking. If you're not thinking about where you're going to go next, right? Have we got PT? Have we got values and standards? Are we doing weapon handling tests? Are we doing weapon handling training? You're thinking about, oh my God, I got to iron all my kit now because I got a locker inspection at 05:30 in the morning, or I've got to get all my CBRN kit sorted out because I'm in the gas chambers tomorrow. You will not have time to be homesick. I'm telling you now, Lee. You will thoroughly enjoy it, mate, if you get through the whole process. When you start basic, don't worry about not being away from friends and family before, because there's going to be lots of people in exactly the same boat as you. And also, you don't get much time to think. Is it do this, do that, and why haven't you did this? If you haven't done it, and you're in trouble. T. Hannah, right on that, Sam. Knowledge shows massively. Yeah, definitely. Nothing about the integrated review was discussed at briefing. That surprised me. Maybe, do you know what? The fact is, DJ, that you actually noticed that nothing about the integrated review was discussed on there. You noticed that. Probably 70% of the people that probably went to your AOSB didn't even notice that the integrated review wasn't even on there, but you really did do your homework. So that's probably why it went pretty well for you. Right, CJ. Army, Navy, or Air Force? Which force would you recommend for someone who wants to join? Right, so biased opinion, Army. The only reason, though, that I would say Army is because I could never, ever imagine myself being in the Air Force or the Navy. When I decided I wanted to join up, it was the Army. And if I didn't join the Army, I was not going to the RAF, and I was not going to go to the Navy. I would have carried on as a civilian. However, you'll probably get better postings within the RAF and the Navy. But I just rather the Army for the type of person I am. I am, as the majority of you know, I'm big into my fitness. I really enjoy outdoorsy things. I don't particularly like going on exercise, but I love going on tour. You might not get as much opportunity to hit the battlefield if you're in the RAF or you're in the Navy. However, the RAF and Navy, you'll probably have a longer career. So if it's a career thing you're thinking about, I join the Navy or Air Force. If it's an action-packed life that you want, it's not day to day. You're not always busy. Sometimes you're not doing anything, and that's when soldiers get in trouble generally. But if you want a bit more action in your life, I would definitely join Army. If you want a career where, like in the RAF, you spend a lot of time behind a desk, the Navy, you spend a lot of time on ship. So that's the only way you'll be able to decide. So what I would do is have a look on all the websites, Army website, Navy website, Air Force website, and make that decision. But any of the services that you join, it doesn't matter. Even if you think you made the wrong decision, you can transfer services just as easily. Well, not just as easily, but fairly easily and nearly as easily as transferring CAT badge. Going from the Army to Navy and Air Force is probably easier than going Navy and Air Force to Army. You probably will have to do some aspects of basic training if you decide to want to come to the Army from the Navy or Air Force. But generally, going from Army to Navy and Air Force is a bit easier. And thanks to Henry. I'm glad that flag was meant to be Wales. Don't look much like it though, mate. Are the in-service degrees competitive or open to anyone who is within? So by the in-service degrees, I'm guessing you actually mean just like whatever degree you want to do, basically getting a degree while you're in the Army, Air Force or Navy, not competitive whatsoever. If that's what you mean, Harry, basically that's what I'm talking to here. By the in-service degree, do you mean that just getting a degree using the money that the Army will pay? And if that is a yes, they are not competitive at all, and they are open to absolutely anyone. And Tihan is probably right there. Would you rather sleep in a hotel, a ditch, or a boat? Yeah, you're probably right there. Tihan with a high cognitive ability. Nice one. Good to know. My cognitive ability is probably very low. Mohammed Rezwan Khan, would I recommend the British military to my children or the US military? Oh my God, that is a good question, a really good question. And they do hold dual citizenship. Man, Khan, that's a good one. I would. So my wife, her uncle and her grandfather were both Black Hawk pilots. So I would probably, if my kids wanted to join the military, I'd tell them to join the US Air Force and try and become a Black Hawk pilot. That's what I would do, because her uncle and her grandfather have amazing stories, absolutely amazing stories. And her uncle has just went out and bought a little 2-seater plane as well. So you're absolutely sorted there. So I would say US Air Force for my kids if they want to do it. Leans, how has Army PT changed or improved in the last 30 years or ever since I joined? I would say now, so what we used to do, Army PT was this. You either did a steady state run, a fartlek session, so sprint training session, circuits, the assault course, battle PT. Everything had running in it, though. The US Army, however, they've completely changed it. They're not that fit, the US Army, I can tell you that. They're not fit at all, but by God, they're strong. They are so strong. So I went out with one para to the 82nd Airborne Division in North Carolina, Fort Bragg. Can't remember name of the camp. And we did MMA with them. I thought this will be easy. This will be easy. So God Almighty got my ass handed to me, man, by this one guy. So strong. He was bigger than me, but I thought I'd probably be fitter than him. So strong, unbelievably strong, man. He had me like choked out in about like 30 seconds because they focus on a CrossFit style fitness. They do tabbing and they do a CrossFit style of fitness. And that is where the British Army have gone now. You'll probably find you do less running, really, because you only got to pass at 2K now. Less running, more tabbing, more CrossFit style of strength and endurance kind of training. That's how it's worked. It never used to be like that. It just used to be circuits or running. That was it. But now it's more of a train to run rather than running to train. So train just to be able to run, just to be able to move your body, which anyone can do anyway. It's about getting strength, and that's how they've done it, the US, and it's good, so strong. I want to join, but the applications are closed. CJ Commonwealth, yeah, mate, just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about that. The fact is, when they open up again, just apply. Just apply. Don't worry about anything being closed right now. Don't see it as a sign. Don't get annoyed. Don't look at another career. Just focus on it, and it'll work. This I don't know if any of you guys have ever read about David Goggins. So David Goggins, he was a Navy SEAL. Then he went to Ranger School, then Army Rangers. Then he went Delta Force. He unfortunately, on the last but one day, piled in on a Delta Force, but he is like one of the fittest blokes out there. He's selfish. He's very self-centered, but if he wasn't self-centered, he wouldn't have achieved what he had to achieve. And he's a big person who advocates for accountability as well, and not looking at the bad side of things and actually seeing them as an opportunity. So CJ, don't worry if applications are closed. All you've got to do is train, do some revision, and get ready for it when it opens again. Elliot Lee, I mentioned hitting the battlefield in the Army. The next biggest deployment at the moment is going into Estonia. More than likely, you'll probably get torn Estonia, but that probably won't be that won't be a kinetic war, or Mali. That's all over the news at the minute. That's really not much of a kinetic war either. But those are generally the deployments at this moment in time. There's no wars going to kick off, and I don't even know if there will. I think we're probably done with the Middle East now. We've tried it, we've failed, we've come home. What qualifications do you need to be an officer? A minimum qualifications to become an officer, Fred, this is for a minimum of A-levels. Minimum of A-levels. However, if you can go with a degree, it probably opens up more cap badges to you. Like the Royal Signals, you do not need a degree. You don't need a degree to become a Royal Signals officer. However, if you have a good degree, it probably opens up more cap badges for you, and you look, well, they say a bit more sexier to the other cap badges to take you in to their own cap badge. Do you think big military deployments are coming to an end? This is Bruno. No, big military deployments are not coming to an end. I don't think it can. I think, obviously, we've a lot of the one big domain at this moment in time is cyber. That is the new fifth battle space. That's what the Army calls cyber, the fifth battle space. And that's where the majority of the wars are getting carried out at this moment in time. However, we still train for big deployments. And I would imagine there will be a big deployment. It might be 10 years' time, 20 years' time. It could be in 3 weeks' time. But there will be more big deployments. I would imagine that is for sure. America's military. America's military is massive. T. Yeah, they're the thing is, they're not. I don't think they're as professional as us, the US military, in some aspects, and then other aspects, because they have so much equipment and so much access to equipment, they can look very professional from the time I've worked with them. Oh man, I've lost it. DJ's right. My question for this evening is for the young officer candidates who are like, hey, have you seen them struggle more in command with some people at briefing who are still doing A levels? Right. Yeah, I have. I have seen people struggle, but it wasn't because they couldn't do it. It was because they'd just come out of Sandhurst. Sandhurst had given them a air of confidence, and they probably told them to go in. I know I've said this on all the other ones, to go in and make their mark on the troop, make their mark on the squadron. But I worked with a young officer. He was amazing. We're still good mates now. He's a major. He is now. We're still good mates now. And that is what he wanted to do. He came straight into my troop, wanted to change things, and we didn't hit it off. So we discussed it, and now we're like best friends. And he even said, this is what Sandhurst breeds. It breeds confidence. Like, we think we're right. So therefore, the changes I want to make, I'm just going to go ahead and make them. But that's not the key to doing it. So immaturity is the thing. Nothing to do with their ability whatsoever. I think it's more of an immaturity thing, which you learn very quickly in the military, because the fortunate thing about the military is that everyone speaks their minds. It's none of this being catty. If you don't like something, you'll just tell someone that you don't like it, and they'll just take it. They'll be like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay. Or they'll argue back saying, well, this is what has to happen. This is the right thing to do. This is what we're going to do. And then the other person who might not like it has to conform. It's all about change management. So nothing to do with ability. Immaturity is the key. Up Cabret, you got a DJ in Estonia. Enhanced forward presence. Winking. Yeah, kind of. CJ applied to the RAF in April. Haven't heard anything. Yeah. Okay, mate. That's just one of those things at the bloody minute. It's annoying. To be honest, Middle East will never get solved. Everyone's tried the Middle East. Absolutely everyone has, haven't they? Russia got booted out of Afghanistan easily. Russia's massive. They took loads of troops. You're never going to win that war. Northern Ireland, yeah, we still have a presence there anyway. Kezzy Jackson, how long do you start basic training? Do you mean how long do you do it? You do it in 14 weeks still exactly the same. Yeah, it just really works than OBS, Tiana. You're dead right. I think when you move from Sandhurst, you really have to scope the whole troop. You really do. What immaturity behaviors was he displayed that stood out? It's a case of he was very quick to react. This is for T. Hunter now. He was really quick to react, mate, to everything. And he rang me up one day and he's like, if this isn't done, then it's you that's being held responsible. To me. Sent in a text, actually. So I rang him. And then he was nice as pie on the phone when I rang him. And that's what happened. And we had a chat. And he was like, look, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's no problem. I understand you're a junior officer. I'd been in the army like 15, 16 years by then. It's like, I don't worry about it. It's just one of those things. And that was it. It's just people who are quick to react. And what happens is you'll find junior officers really look up to senior officers. So if they get told to do something, they won't let anyone stand in their way. and they'll go ahead and do it regardless of what the task is. They won't think about how they're going to do it. They'll just go and do it. And that is the only key. That's the immaturity side, rather than just absorbing the information, thinking about the best way to tackle the problem, then tackle the problem, and seeking out advice should you need it from someone else. Hang on now. Elliot Slee. Do you recommend calisthenics, bodyweight exercises, or weight training in the gym? Which type of training would be more applicable to the army? Look, I do a bit of both. I do a lot of calisthenics with my weights first, but I also do weights as well. I do like bench, squats, bicep curls with weights, deadlifts. That's it for me. They're the only compound movements that I do. That is it with weight. So I don't feel like I need anything else like that. I would say, though, compound movement for weights, and then to burn fat, you're better off doing calisthenics, buddy. Definitely. BJ, any specific workout exercise you recommend to get waistline to army standard, past fitness and literacy test being deferred due to waistline being overnight? Right. Here we go. The only way is not to concentrate on your waistline. Okay. Don't concentrate on your waistline. Concentrate on body fat. Okay. Concentrate on body fat. You need to be doing no weights whatsoever. Get off the weights if you've been doing them. You need to be doing hundreds of burpees a day. That's it. The weight will drop off you. And when you think, oh my God, I've done enough now, you need to do another 10 minutes of burpees, mate. And you will get that within a month. If you're doing hundreds of burpees a day, I'm talking 100, 200, 300, 400 burpees, 5 days a week minimum. If you're doing that with four count flutter kicks, what you're doing as well to really work the core. I got loads and loads of videos on my channel, buddy. Get on those videos, and I'm telling you now, the fat will absolutely drop off you. But also, working out is only 40%. Diet is 60%. Cut out sugar. Just cut out sugar from your diet whatsoever, and you'll also see a huge improvement. You'll see a huge improvement in your skin. You see a huge improvement in everything. Cut out sugar, do loads and loads of fizz. That is the only way. That is the only way to lose weight. Like, a lot of people go on a diet and they don't do any fizz. They'll just go on a diet and they'll drop weight initially. They will drop weight initially, but you will plateau. You will plateau. It's a guarantee you'll plateau very, very quickly on a diet. So how you have to think of it is that you eat clean. You have your cheat day. I have a cheat day. On my cheat day, I go big on my cheat day. And then the next day, I'll do like an hour and 20 training or something. But what you got to remember is, don't say you're on a diet. Make your eating habits your diet. So my diet is 2 boiled eggs in the morning, banana, apple, rice and chicken, lunch, rice and chicken for dinner. I might have another banana or another apple before I go to bed if I'm really hungry. But that's just my diet. I'm not on a diet because I love chicken and rice. Absolutely love it. I'm not on a diet. It's my diet that I really enjoy. That's how you have to think of it. That's how you have to get your mental state and get yourself accountable for what you eat. So that is the best way to do it, BJ. Any other questions, just stick them in the chat, mate. What changes do young and mature? Obviously, I think we've done that. But generally, they just try to like move people around and stuff like that. But just attempt to stop it. He's being an idiot. Chaz, just come across your videos. I just passed my assessment centre for infantry and head into Catterick. Nice one. On October the 3rd. Do you have any tips for me? The biggest tip, I've said it earlier in this video, is you just got to have a good attitude. Go there with a good attitude. Be yourself. Do as you're told. Help your mates. Just help your mate. If you can see someone, say you're knackered and you want to go to bed, right? and you can see your mate struggling, you've got to stay up and help them. Be that guy. Don't be the guy that just goes straight to bed if you can see someone else struggling, because at some point during those 14 weeks, you will need a hand doing something. That's a guarantee. I was really good at ironing. Don't know why. I never used to iron at home before I joined the army, but I was just really good at it. And whenever I was on inspection, I never stood out or anything like that. My one mate was terrible at ironing. It literally looked like he was ironing with a brick every single morning. So what I did was just iron his clothes for him. It's just one. I don't know why he couldn't get it. He's a bloody idiot. I don't know why he couldn't get it, but I just ironed his clothes for him. Not all of them, but his shirts I used to iron for him. So I just ironed his shirts. And then as time went by, well, I think I can't remember what happened, but either way, I needed to borrow like a fiver from, or I needed to borrow something. It was mobile phone. He had a mobile phone, and I had to borrow that for him for a couple of nights so I could just to ring my parents, because the pay phones were out of service on camp. That's how long I did this ago. Basic training, and he just gave it to me whatever I wanted. There was no dramas, but I initiated the whole thing. So that's what you got to do: just be the guy. Be helpful. Bodybuild T-Hunter for 10 years and isn't functional for turning your body into a soldier. Man, I used to do bodybuilding in my younger days. I'm so injured now, my lower back and stuff like that. It's just not good for you. Lack of ownership and impatience, DJ. Yeah. Colin 44,500. I'm in the Royal Signals and currently at Blandford, so 11th Signal Regiment at this moment in time. No, Sanders aren't oblivious to the situation with newly qualified officers. It's just they send them out there. Every single officer has been exactly the same, and they're just excited. I think they get so excited. Some of them, they're just like so excited just to be around the lads and in the military and that. They just get excited. Just one of those things. They've all been brilliant. The junior officers I've worked with. Zeus Lamac. Question is, how do you go from enlisted to officer? Right, enlisted to officer, 2 ways. Up until sergeant, if you want to go officer, you will have to do the 1 year at Sandhurst. Simple as that. You'll have to go back to Sandhurst and join up as if you've never been in the army before. When you're a sergeant, in some of the cap badges like AGC, Adjutant General Corps, I think possibly the Education Training Service, the ETS as well, you might be able to go for them as sergeant, but it's really hard. My friend managed to get through it. He did it as a warrant officer mine, but there were sergeants on his selection. 260 people went for commissioning and 6 people got it. And that was a month-long selection course with everything, because you had to do CVs, interviews, so on and so forth. So all in all, it took about one full month of doing little bits and bobs, and 6 people out of 260 actually got through it. All the other cap badges is usually staffy and above. You can go to commission and you will do a week-long selection course at Sandhurst now. It's just changed. It might be a couple of days now. You used to do it at unit. Now you do it at Sandhurst. So from staffing above, it'll just be like a week selection course with interviews, phone interviews beforehand. But some cap badges, you can go from sergeant. Anything below sergeant, you're going to Sandhurst for the year. Colin 44,500. Well, to burn fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. You need to be in a calorie deficit. You haven't got to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have got to be. Whether that's through just eating a low calorie diet, or eating your normal diet and burning those calories with a crap load of fizz, which is the best way to do it. The fasting. Yeah, look, T-Honey, you're dead right, mate. But what has just worked for me lately, the past year or so, when I wanted to drop all my body fat, it's loads of fizz and eating a really clean diet. But yeah, a lot of people are fasting. Fasting is a good way. It's like 8 hours of eating, 16 hours off. Colin, 44,500. The only way you can lose weight is through a calorie deficit. Don't mind all these exercises, speeding out deficit. Yeah, you're right, Colin. However, you can still eat a good diet, and then you burn those calories off doing fizz, and then you get into the deficit that way. You haven't got to starve yourself. That's the whole thing. Diets, generally, people like starve themselves, or a keto diet where you can only eat fat and a little bit of carbs. They're no good for you. Eat a good, healthy diet, and then do fizz as well, which is good for your body. Okay, so that's what I would say, Colin, to be perfectly honestly with you, mate. Dieting isn't a great thing. Healthy diet, loads of fizz. That's what gets you through it. DJ Fred Bindlers, is it hard to have a long career in the army? No, it's not hard to have a long career in the army, but you will go through some really turbulent times. I fortunately have had a good career. I've had good postings, and I've never really thought about signing off early. I've always, probably from when I got promoted to corporal, I was like, I'm staying in. I'm gonna stay in now. And I've managed to get a couple of promotions along the way, go and enjoy myself, get on loads of courses, and enjoyed it. It's not difficult. You can really get by. It depends what you want to get out of it. And I would say try and get everything out that you can. So it's not that hard. If I can do it, any one of you guys can do it. Officers can apply for special forces, Mohammed. They can apply for special forces. They get tested differently on their elements of the course to regular soldiers. Leanne's, is food available in the mess supplied by the army or external contractors? Is it mega healthy or regular food? Lee, the food in the messes are terrible, absolutely terrible. They're not good for the soldier, I wouldn't say. And if you want to eat healthy, generally you've got to pay through the nose. So you're gonna have to do what you can where in that cookhouse to try and eat out. When you're in basic training, you're doing loads of fizz, you're up all the time. So whatever calories you can get in isn't a bad thing. You're gonna burn those off anyway. It doesn't really matter. But then when you come to the likes of phase 2 and working units, it can be quite difficult to get a really good meal. To be honest with you, it's not great. The food in the army isn't great. That's the one bad thing. Josh, trying to rejoin the army, 1 year, 4 months now, been AC Glen course 9 times, 10 times, never failed fitness, but struggling to get 8.7 or more. What hit or fartlek distances should I be doing? With fartlek, you're not going to get, if you're going to do a really solid fartlek session, you want to be looking at 2.5, 3 miles, because you want to be lowering your heart rate to a point and then going again. So just smashing those 3 miles in and then doing a little body weight session at the end, some press ups, flutter kicks, or things like that for your core to keep that heart rate high. So that's what I would suggest. So a good 3 miler for a fartlek session, because any more than that, it's hard. And try and get a couple of hills in it as well, a couple of hill sprints in that as well. Are vaccines mandatory? Yeah, I was told to get one. Not everyone's eligible for them yet. I don't know if they're mandatory at this moment in time, but you're encouraged to go and get a vaccine. Are new officers in charge of WO1s, Lewis? So they're not in charge. Because they're an officer, they are of a higher rank, even though they're only a second lieutenant, but they're not in charge. Like, they're not in charge of me as a WO2. They wouldn't be in charge of WO1. However, a junior officer could be in charge of a staffy, but with a good working relationship, there is no real in charge. He'll do one thing, the staffy will do the other thing. That's how I always did it. We always had a fine line. We knew where we stood, had an amazing relationship. We both did our different jobs. There was no one of us really in charge of my troop, to be honest with you. How do Commonwealth citizens go about joining the military? This is Zeus. Basically, it's one of the lads was staying earlier. It's closed at this moment in time. I don't think they're accepting anyone, but that'll come up again soon. You'll just do it online like before. And apologies for killing this DJ. Noel, how Sam? Sorry I'm late. If I may ask, how can you lose some belly fat? Noel, the way to do it is all over body training. Don't just train your core. So all over body training, calisthenics. If you watch my hip videos on my channel, you've got to do them. Be rigid, good diet. That belly fat will go in absolutely no time. Give it a month, it'll be gone. Be rigid with your diet and working out. Tia, I need to go to Gibraltar, spy on the bases and run around the place. Yeah, that is absolutely no problem, Lewis. Right, 40 minutes. That's flown by, hasn't it? If no one else has any questions, I'll call it a day. Does anyone else have any questions or anything? And knock it on the head. What's harder, P company or commando course? Commando course is harder, definitely. I see loads of paras knocking about. You don't see many army commandos knocking about at all. Lewis, the new 2.9 commando trailer. Ooh, I don't know if I've seen it. I'll look it up. I'll put it in my notes. I'll put it in my notes now to look it up, and I'll go and have a look for that bad boy once I've finished this. In regards to SF officers, do they get involved in the action? Yeah, 100%, mate. Trust me. My God, yeah, SF officers will be there. Best exercise for build. This is Fred. Best exercise for building upper body strength. Burpees, pull-ups. Done. You'll be absolutely squared with that. You soon build it up in no time. Loads of press-ups. Can you do the commando course in 14 SIGs and serve with the Marines? Yeah, I think you won't serve with the Royal Marines. I don't think you'll serve with the Army Commandos, but you can from 14 SIGs. But what they might do is get you. So what they used to do when I was at 14, if you wanted to go do the commando course, you had to do P Company first. If you pass P Company, then they put you on the commandos course. Zeus, can you have more than one speciality in infantry? Yeah. You can have as many qualifications as you want in the infantry. I would have joined the infantry if I only joined the signals. You can go and do pretty much whatever you want. One of the squadrons is air base. Yeah, that's my 226 one. That's what I was the troop staffian for 4 years, is 226 in 14 SIGs. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're still doing Army Commando. Get posted back at 14, you might do. Just depends where you get posted. Even so, I'm looking at Special Observer. Nice Enzoc. Special Observer, good choice. Looks really easy to get into, but I hear it's stupidly hard. Yeah, I do. It is hard. I think you spend a lot of time in the field, a lot of time cold, a lot of time wet, a lot of time tired. It's mental. It probably is easy to get into, but to pass a course, probably really hard. So it'll be all up here for you, mate. Also all up there. When is the run being stated? My friend went up yesterday and did the bleep test. Yeah, still doing the bleep test, mate. This won't change now until the 19th of July. This ain't going to change now until the 19th of July when old Bojo gives a speech whether he's going to withdraw all the lockdown rules. That's pretty much the sketch of it, mate, for that. How long are the army looking for new officers to serve? As long as possible, I think. Yeah, T100 EW Master. Yeah, I wish. How long are the army looking for new officers to serve? I'm not sure if you sign like a 5-year contract. I'm not entirely sure, but some of the infantry you can get brown lettered out and they won't renew your contract. But generally, in the likes of signals and other arms like that, you'll be absolutely fine. Zeus Lamarck, who is a Pathfinder? Is that what are the Pathfinder? Pathfinders are an arm of the paras, which are sort of the lead para group. They go and do close target reconnaissance and stuff like that. They'll patrol in, do the close target reconnaissance, patrol out, job done. They're super fit, the Pathfinders are. Elias, is EW role similar to the role played in the film Lone Survivor? I think Lone Survivor was Navy SEALs, wasn't it? Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, I'm just like a Navy SEAL. No, but it's not quite like that, mate. Not quite like that, unfortunately. Lewis Whelan, what's some of the places I've traveled to in the army? Ooh, bloody hell. So I've had a post into Germany. Couple of tours in Iraq, couple of tours in Afghan, Cyprus. I haven't been to Gibraltar. And then off the back of the army, then because I've had a really good job, full-time career. I've been to the Atlantis Hotel in Dubai with a wife and children. I went to South Korea on holiday. Been to Japan on holiday. Been to Poland on exercise. America for 3 months on exercise. I've gone all over the place. Absolutely brilliant. I cannot fault it whatsoever. DJR's the brown letter out is essentially this is what when I was on tour, when I was in Afghan, someone got a brown letter, and that's what one of the officers said. I don't know a lot about it, but basically one of the other officers had his contract renewed, and another officer just got a brown letter, and they said, look, we're not renewing your contract, so you've got a year left. Brutal. So basically you can almost get sacked if they don't want to keep you. Do you think the Duke and Veteran Awards helps on the application? Of course it does, mate. And if it doesn't help on the application, it certainly helps you as an individual, which that in turn will help on perhaps not your application, but it will help you on your different parts of your selection. With all your experience in the military, what would I do differently? Oh, Zeus, that's a hell of a question. What would I do differently in the military? To be perfectly honest with you, I've accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish. I think the only thing the thing is, right, my missus is like dead fit, and I've got 2 amazing kids, and if I'd gone and done the things that I'd wanted to do, well, that's a lie. If I look back now and think, oh, I could have done this or I could have done that, if I had managed to pass those courses, I might never have ended up in Iraq, where I met my wife when she was in the Texas National Guard. So fortunately, nothing. I wouldn't do anything differently. I might, instead of doing my comms management degree, I should have potentially done some sort of sports science degree. But that's about it, mate. That's the only thing I do differently. I've had an amazing career, and I've pretty much done whatever the hell I wanted. Recon, we will go back to Afghan. But signals get wherever the army is, the signals are there. Frontline, mate. I've been on frontline 4 times. Wherever you go, signals are there. Does military prep college help with basic? Yeah, of course it will, mate. Any type of prep will help you. Yeah, but like Zood, like I said, to go back, the only thing I do differently is a different degree. But a degree is a degree at the end of the day. I can't do anything differently. Because I wouldn't have ended up in Iraq at that certain day, at that certain point in time. Perhaps try for officer. Maybe. But well, I've had an amazing career. Posture is key. Yeah, DJ, mate, that was brilliant advice. Do recruiters recognize military prep college? I don't know. Plus, I don't know if you probably don't even have to talk about it, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? They might do. They might see it on the application. But the fact is that you've been there, and it'll show with how you carry yourself and your knowledge when you go through your selection processes. It'll show that way for sure. If you change branches in the military, do you lose your rank? Oh, do you lose your rank? I think that would depend on generally no, but I'm sure one of my friends went to become an army photographer. I think he's an army photographer from here in Blandford, and he had promoted to sergeant. He wasn't wearing it yet, but he had promoted to sergeant. And he was changing cap badge to, I don't even know what cap badge do all the army photography. He was changing cap badge to them anyway. And they said that he will not promote to sergeant. So if he goes over to them, even though he has promoted, he's come out, his name's been released, but he won't wear it yet until the promotion year. Your name gets released about 2 months earlier than you actually start wearing your sergeant. They told him that he will not be promoted to sergeant. He will stay as a corporal. And he was like, yeah, whatever. So that's pretty much the only way how that would happen. What are they like with eyes? My eyesight in reading is horrendous, but not too bad, I suppose, with glasses. Would this be a problem? Nah, look at these, mate. Look at these old gags ends. Look at these old things. Fine. Don't worry about it. With eyesight, wear your glasses, mate. Lee Inns, how did you cross paths? So, in Baghdad, right? Now, I am not a big timer, but in Baghdad, protecting the United Kingdom. And my wife was there in the Texas National Guard. And the camp we were at in Baghdad had this swimming pool. And she was just there. So all we used to do, right? It was like the best 6 months of my life. So all we used to do, we'd do our day job, and then we'd just we'd go to the gym twice a day, and then go by the pool and just sunbathe and swim and play volleyball and football and stuff like that. And she was there, and I just went up and started chatting to her, and that's how I met her. She was in the Texas National Guard. They do a year tour. We only do 6 months. In America, they do 1 year tours, man. Brutal. We did 6 months, a 6-month tour, and came back, didn't see her for a month, and then got an email off her saying, oh, just to let you know, I'm flying into London. This was in 2005. Just letting you know, I'm flying into London to come and see you. It's like, oh my God, I was out the blue. And that was it. Job done. And then we got married then, a year later. And then we had kids a year later. So 2 years, basically. And we only saw each other we spent 6 months together, and we saw each other about 3 or 4 times. Amazing. Final question. If I join the infantry with no qualifications, could I eventually change to become a joiner, which requires GCSEs? Yeah. So do join the infantry, and within the infantry, you will be able to get your level 2 English and literacy qualification, which are the equivalent to GCSEs, English and maths. So then you'll be able to go and do a joiner. So you'll be fine with that, mate. Mohammed, do you think the army can improve their recruitment videos? The army have massive problems with retention and recruitment, and they just can't find that balance, really. They can't find that balance between it all. But at the end of the day, people still join. People still join the army, and people are always going to leave the army. People will always join the army. So to be perfectly honest with you, they do their best. I think that's about it. I don't quite think you can nail it, because what you got to remember is what they don't want to do is recruit in such a fashion that it shows the army being something is not. And then everyone signs off 4 years later. They are recruiting the type of people that they want, that hopefully won't sign off, that hopefully will stay in for a longer career. So that's really who the recruitment videos are for, I would say. Is it rare or common for males to find partners in the army? Do you know what? You get a few married couples in the military that meet in the military, but yeah, I would say it's quite rare. Mate. Toxic Heart, is the COVID vaccine mandatory? It's not mandatory, but you get encouraged to get it, basically. You get encouraged to get it. But I don't think it's mandatory at this moment in time. As your main board, this is Arrigo. Has his main board in 2 weeks. Any advice? That was the obstacle course. The obstacle course won't be hard. You'll be fine with that if they're still doing it. Actually, DJ, you've just done AOSB. You just done your main board, haven't you, Deej? Were they doing the obstacle course there? I'm not entirely sure. Arrigo, to be honest. But the main thing, DJ's your man here. But for me, confidence. Confidence is key, mate. Confidence, and what DJ said about good posture. Posture, looking the part all of the time, should always be monitored. Always look the part. Always be professional, even when you're in the toilet, even when you're going for a number 2. Be professional, don't slouch. They're always watching me. Lee, no, she really couldn't resist my charms, mate. I was on a complete American camp, and there were 4, 5, 6, 7 British people and about 400 Americans, mate. They didn't stand a chance, did they? Red Army is 6,000 below target. Yeah, but that's in certain areas. So some areas are overmanned, some areas are undermanned, and that's what they take as below target. Even though they're overmanned in some areas, they don't include them. So it probably evens itself out. But where it's undermanned in certain trades and things like that's where you get the 6,000 from. But it's pretty much even at this moment in time. We'll talk. Oh, T Hunter, thanks very much, mate. Yeah, Craig's good bloke. DJ XRP, Ranger Media. Yeah, there's loads of us on here, all really good blokes, and all we want to do is just get people into the army. I've had such a good career. I want everyone else to hopefully enjoy it as well. And you're not too old, mate. You are not too old. They put a cap on of 32, 34, something like that. You're not too old, mate. If you don't, just remember this, right? Say you don't do it now. When you're 30, you'll be thinking, oh, I wish I joined the army 5 years ago when I was 25. I could never do it now. Just do it. When I was 25, I had only been in the army for 4 years. So you'd only be 4 years behind me. So it's nothing, mate, whatsoever. Do it now. 25, loads of people are joining older. You'll be surprised. There will be older people like you in there. And that's not even old, 25. Do you know what I mean? So don't worry. Do it, mate. 'Cause when you're 30, you don't want to be looking back and thinking, oh, my God, I should have joined 4 or 5 years ago. Just do it. Just do it, mate. Just do it now. And if you don't enjoy it, you've tried it. You haven't lost anything. You just don't want those regrets. Zeus, yeah, any rank of officer can go for combat. Do you mean to go on tour? Yeah, any rank, anyone. As long as you're over 18, you can go on tour. Charlie T, do I know anything about the cav? I've worked with the household cav a few times. They were in London. I'm not sure where they are now. I don't know a lot about him, mate. I don't know a lot about him, but I know I've worked with one lad. He was on a course I took a couple of months ago. Really nice bloke. I don't know a lot about them, though. All I know is the man, and he was a really nice bloke, and that's the only opinion I can give you for that. But I don't know a lot about HCR, unfortunately. Sorry about that, mate. Right. So D's just got a main board. I've seen you in the comments. Right. So Arrigo, listen. Main board, right? This is what you're gonna do. Go there. Good attitude. Do as you're told. But fit. Be fit. Take a full rest day beforehand. They're still doing the interviews, I'm pretty sure they are. Watch my interview tips and techniques video, and I go through, and I've got a video on all about the main board in there. You'll do fine. The fact is, you're doing your research now, and that should give you a lot of confidence. That should give you a lot of confidence. The fact that you're doing your research, you're coming onto these things, a lot of it might not apply to you, but that one little golden nugget might. And that's the confidence you need to go in with. Be a team player, also be able to look after yourself as an individual, and you'll be fine. But go in with confidence. Evening, what sentence to walk in on? Peeing professionally. Yeah. That's a cracker, that is. Oh, I just lost it now. Are you able to keep your car at Sandhurst? Some do. Some people do. Whether you get chance to use it, I don't know. She's gonna be so busy all the time, but I know some people do. But they might be the international officers that also go there. So they'll tell you that anyway. That'll be on your joining instructions. You might have to get a lift. I know a lot of people get a lift there, so maybe you can't. Hi, mate. Hey, Franco, how are you doing, buddy? yeah, I do that, mate. A FizzCon before we all leave. Josh Dennehy, yeah, you got it, mate. 33 now. It's just one of those things, man. Just do it now, and it's the same with you, Josh. You get in, mate. I know you wish you had 10 years under your belt, but when you're 43, and if you didn't do this, you'd be like, oh my God, I could have done 10 years in the army now. People stay in the army forever. I'm just done. I'm just tired out. I tried to cram so much into these 22 years. I'm just tired. I need a new challenge in my life. And I think that's the key. I thought if I ever feel like I'm stagnating, it'll be time to go. I've never ever thought that. And I feel like now that I haven't got the drive to do more things that I had even 2 years ago, where I had so much planned, I've accomplished them, and now I haven't set myself any new targets. And I'm concentrating more on YouTube and concentrating more on my own fears rather than my career. So that's when I knew it was time. It was time for me to go. But you guys, when you get in the army, you're going to have your whole career ahead of you, and you'll be planning all the time in your head, and you'll know what you want to do next. Like, right, I want to get through basic training. I want to get through phase 2. I want to get through my first posting. I want to get to my second posting, do this, that, and that course. I've done all that now. And I just got to the point where I felt like I was just stagnating a little bit. And I thought, this is it. I'm coming up to my 22 years. I originally put my papers in, applied to commission to become an officer, but decided against it. So I withdrew it, and because that was my plan, but I didn't really want to do it. I want a new challenge. I want a new job. I'd like to work for myself if possible, doing something out in America, because there's lots of money to be earned out in America. I just need a new goal, and that's what everyone should always have. Everyone always needs a goal in their life, because if you haven't got a goal, it's difficult to get up out of bed. So everyone needs a goal, and right now I haven't got a goal within the military. My goal is just to do these next 18 months, get a really good resettlement into my belt, and do things like this for young soldiers so they can have an amazing career like I've had. So that's essentially my goal. Nothing really to do with the military. Is helping people like you. So you have an amazing 22 years like me, and hopefully, well, some of you might have already met the woman of your dreams. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's just once you start stagnating, the time would come for me. I think there's just more to it. Sorry about that. I want to say thanks for the bleep test advice. Me running 24 meters, good. I bet you. Nice one, Franco. That's really good, mate. Arrigo, I'm currently serving, and your videos are great. I used your videos in the field to prepare. Oh, that's brilliant, mate. Thanks very much, Arrigo, and thanks for saying that. It's really, really kind. Yeah, you would have to do P Company first, Fred, to become an officer in P Company. What happened is you would you go to P Company, I would imagine, to become an officer. You do your officer training. They would see how fit you were on there, and then they'd be like, right, you go P Company officer from there. But you'd have to pass P Company though. Last minute induced stress, but I'm super confident. Thank you. And as you, always looking to improve. That's it, mate. And stress is a good thing. Stress is a good thing, but just focus your mind. Don't be thinking about failing. Just be thinking about how you're going to tackle these tasks. Don't even let failure enter your head. And if you do fail, who cares, mate? At least you've had a go. Millions of people out there wouldn't have had a go, but you're not going to fail anyway. And anxiety can really focus a person as well. Just a touch of it, though. Zeus Lamac, what aspect of the military do I not like? Oh, God, Zeus. Zeus, you ask like some wicked questions, mate. There's two bits of the military I don't like. Point one, military accommodation. Crap. Hate it. But because of that, you don't pay a lot of money. So I put all of my money into houses, which I've just sold now. So that'll get us a big, huge bloody house in America. So that's one good thing. But the living is rubbish. Some of the houses are really, really bad. But you don't pay much for them. So I can't argue with it. I just don't like it. Second thing, for me at my age now, I don't like. So Fizz is too easy. Fizz is so easy in the military. It is a joke. Some of the Fizz lessons I go on. I have to do Fizz before I go and do our timetabled PT. It's a joke, some of the Fizz, and that's also what I don't like. Whenever, up until 5 years ago, Fizz used to be hard. I used to enjoy it. Now I have to do my own Fizz before I go on to Fizz here on timetabled Fizz with my squadron or whatever. But that's what it is. The assessments, your raw fitness tests are easy. So you haven't got to be fit anymore to be in the army unless you go in P Company, things like that. You haven't really got to be fit. And as such, a lot of people don't do Fizz, and that pretty much sickens me, to be honest. So those are the two things I don't like. The some of the poor quality soldiers that we get who aren't very fit, but you don't need to be. So I don't like it, but it's just one of those things. That's how the army's changed so much now. Have I ever parachuted? No. Still on the edge for paras, not purely for the fact of injury on landing, which sometimes you can't. Oh my God, Franco, mate. So thank God I haven't parachuted, right? When we were in America, North Carolina, we were, I was with one para. They were jumping out the frames, out the airframes on American parachutes. American, right? The American airborne, they work of a 92% success rate. So they expect 8% of their parachutes not to open every time someone jumps. This time just happened to be a British bloke. Parachute didn't open, hit the deck, completely and utterly paralyzed, mate. Paralyzed. But that's off an I can't remember what make of the parachute is. That's off an American one. The British one's absolutely fine. We work off a 98%. Americans work off a 92% success rate on parachutes opening. Thank God. But I haven't parachuted, mate. No. If unable to get all the items on the kit list for beta training, will you be punished? You will not be punished. Toxic. Send me a message on what you can get, and I'll see if I can source them for you or tell you where to get them from. Tihan, I suppose when you get once you completely being a soldier, you'd be a great officer, but you can get your freedom now that you're near. Yeah, you know what? I would have enjoyed. I'd enjoy being an officer, but I think there's other challenges I'd like to take on. And my wife really wanted to get back to America, and I was desperate to get back to America as well. Well, I say get back. I'm desperate to move out there as well, because I think it'll be a whole new life. I'll have another career. I can do another 22 years essentially. But there you have it. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, Franco, go for it. It won't be as bad as that SAS guy who caught his leg in a shoot. Yeah. Franco, the young Fred Binlet, you have to share toilet. Yeah, you do, mate. Some people, they are gross. But not only do you have to share toilet, you have to clean the bloody thing. Scrub them clean, mate. It's gross. But yeah, you do have to share toilets. Yeah, Franco, the end goal is SAS, mate. Love it. Love the guile. But don't want to pick up any injuries before that and get the experience. Yes, go, mate. Do whatever you want. That's the main thing. Do what you think. You go light infantry. That'll be good as well. Light infantry will, and that'll lead you up just as well as being in the paras for SAS, mate. I'm just looking down here a sec. Yeah, toss a coin. Woods is worth a risk. What's your favorite and worst MRE? Right. So I've had MREs in the States. That's what their MREs are, meals ready to eat, and ours are ORP, operational ration packs. But the best one I've ever had is an American MRE, chicken tetrazzini. It was amazing. And you had to be like a load of Tabasco sauce. Really nice. But I got a load of ration packs. I'm going to do a ration pack video, but I'm trying to get a GoPro so I can do it from like that point of view. So you'll be looking down at the food as I'm taking it apart and everything. So that's what I'm going for next. Josh, we bought a TV with the neighbor. So yeah, that's amazing, mate. Yeah, they're very poor. The American parachutes are. You haven't got to do any training for it either to become airborne in the US military. You haven't got to do any training whatsoever. No physical training. Absolutely nothing. You just got to jump out of a plane. If you jump out of a plane and don't die, that's you then airborne in the US military. What are some possible investments you can invest? Oh man, right, Noel. So there's loads of lads at the minute are on all the investment apps. It's like a full-time job, man, and they're making like 40 quid a month from these investment apps. I've never done it, so I can't comment on it. But £40 a month, the amount of effort that they put in there is ridiculous. So buy an house. It'll go up in price. That's a guarantee. That's what I did. That's how I'd invest it, mate. That is how I would invest it for sure. Okay, now it's time. Dog's barking in the background. He needs a walk. So, everyone, thanks very much for spending time with me this evening, and I'll do another one for you guys next week. Other than that, take care, everyone. Bye. It's awkward, isn't it? You still see, I don't even know if you guys can see me.